I remember walking under this massively tall tower every day as I rushed to class at the University of Texas at Austin. Hook 'em horns. There was a message engraved on the top of that granite tower for everyone on campus to see as they walked under it. The message was, "The truth shall set you free." I questioned what those words would mean for my life. I promised myself then that I'll always try to be open to the truth, no matter how hard it was to accept. Maybe the truth could set me free from my OCD issues. Now I truly understand what those large engraved words on the tower were trying to tell me. That message has become the foundation in my continued fight against OCD, anxiety, and depression. The phrase on the tower has become the focus for the treatment program I have used to help set thousands of my clients free in the greater Houston area from the terror of OCD. I believe that it is your responsibility to figure out who you are and what you can do to benefit your personal experience. I think we can enhance and enrich the lives of those we love and our communities. We really do, as people, choose to be happy or not. We decide to be anxious or not. If you choose to believe you have no control over your thoughts and feelings, then you decide to be powerless and destined to drown in the emotional storms of life. It is really tough to change emotionally in the moment. So you have to think about changing your feelings more as forming a long-term pattern in the brain. Implementing this pattern in your brain can take weeks or months. The bad news is that it takes some patience and persistence to develop these positive emotions. The good news is that it also takes time to lose this positive way of thinking. Thus, happy and relaxing feelings last even after your good habits do. So while all may seem hopeless to you, don't give up yet. Our brains are genetically programmed for emotional and reactive thinking. You still have a fighting chance because if you know how to take advantage of your primitive brain, all you need is a proven plan. This workbook is that proven plan. We have decoded OCD and are learning how to rewrite the coding of your thoughts and emotions. I will show you how to break OCD's domination over your brain and emotions. I remind my clients a few sessions into therapy that it is their responsibility to feel better, not mine. I am their guide, but they still have to hike up the hill with me. It takes some energy and time, I know. But what is your other choice? What do you have to lose? Learn to be the CEO of your brain and your life. You can learn to be in the driver's seat from now on. So find out what is holding you back. What are the obstacles in your way? What are the things you find most challenging? We all must find out what our diagnosis is before we can begin treatment. Without a diagnosis, there cannot be sufficient treatment. What is your diagnosis? Next chapter or video, I will walk you through a few assessments and will help you find your diagnosis. Here you'll learn what your obstacles are and the ones that will try to prevent you from beating OCD. We must identify all the barriers you have in your way to prepare a coordinated attack on your OCD. Knowing what all of the obstacles in your way are is half the battle. Treatment is simple after that. Here's a fact. I have a whole list of techniques proven to obliterate all of the obstacles in your way of beating OCD. There's a correct way to solve most problems in life. You just have to find the right solution and act on it. This workbook is the correct solution. It contains the steps to overcome OCD. This chapter will summarize these steps for you simply and briefly. These steps will be explained in greater detail later in this workbook. Take a quick look at each of the following steps and focus on how each one will be crucial in your treatment process as you begin to beat OCD. Each step you take is necessary for the next step to be understood and utilized. So take your time to get it right. Don't worry about how long it takes. I will be walking you through this process every step of the way. If you promise to not get off the path of this treatment program, I promise you I will stay on it with you the entire time. So let us briefly review the following steps in this workbook. So step 1, diagnose your problem. So what is the first step to solving all of your symptoms of OCD? The first thing you have to do is diagnose your problem. The first issue you have is finding out if you have OCD. If you do have OCD, then you need to discover what kind of OCD it is. Therefore, the two main questions here would be, do you have OCD? And what type of OCD do you have? There are a few different ways to find out if you have OCD. The best way to be adequately diagnosed is by a mental health professional, or from now on I'll call them MHP. Some examples of MHPs are licensed professional counselors, social workers, psychologists, or psychiatrists. These MHPs will be able to determine if you have OCD or another mental health disorder. The next best way to assess your diagnosis is by completing an OCD test. The Y-Box self-test is included in this workbook. You can take this test and score it within 5 minutes. I have additional assessments for you to complete later in this workbook. You will be able to analyze